Chapter 4. On Each Thought. Where in the world is this Yamada-sana? Enten Shinji breathed a huge sigh as he looked at the monitor that had been activated in the secret room in the royal palace. Swords of all shapes and sizes were displayed in the surrounding display cases, without sheaths or hilts. His hobby was swordsmithing, and there was even a time when he seriously considered pursuing it as a career. His skills were at the level of a professional swordsmith, and all of the items in this room, with the exception of a few pieces, were made by him. Sighing, "Are you unusually troubled?" With a wry smile on her face, Akiha, one of Enten's wives and Ichika's mother, entered the room with a large basket. The only other person who could enter this room, or even knew about this room, was what he called a woman who can see and hold you face to face. I'm not always a no-nonsense idiot either, you know. If you're going to stay here, why don't you at least show up for Karen's homecoming party? It's a family party, so there's no need to feel self-conscious about it, right? Akiha placed a basket next to Enten and opened the lid. Inside it was full of food that could be easily grabbed and eaten. She called her Karen, her childhood name, because of her grandmother. "I can't do that now that I'm separated from Ichika," he said. "And I'm sick of listening to these depressing people's nonsense." Enten casually grabbed some food from the basket offered to him and peeked inside, suddenly intrigued by the taste. "Oh, you like it? I'm not a foodie by nature, so I can't really tell the difference between this and my usual food. It's delicious. It's oddly palatable, isn't it? Is there a new chef in town? That's what Karen-chan made." "What?" Enten stared at the contents of the basket, which were so well prepared that one could only assume they had been made by a professional chef. Definitely not something you'd expect to see on a dinner menu, but certainly not something an amateur would be able to make. We were honestly surprised that she could show us at the party what she had learned on the other side of the galaxy. She took care of everything, from arrangements to delivery. "Didn't you hear any complaints from the executive chef?" "I heard that they allowed it because it was an intimate party, but the executive chef is a very strict person who does not allow just anyone to enter his kitchen, even the princess, so I think it is quite unusual. As long as the recipes were submitted in advance, and she actually made several of them, she received permission." "Did Sharon learn to cook at there?" "She was trained there." I was surprised again when I heard that. "What is that?" "That's a surprise." Immediately after she came back, I investigated what she was doing over there. She was hired by a princess of the royal family of Jurai and was trained in a fairly wide range of topics from intelligence to fleet command. Do their princesses do such things? The royal family is a bit special. And so, out of fun and half out of curiosity, we had her do a simulation, and she was able to go toe-to-toe with the top fleet commanders and beat the top knights to a pulp in hand-to-hand combat, so it was a big deal. And when you add to that the fact that she's also a skilled cook recognized by the executive chef, it's hard not to be surprised, right? Well, how did they educate her? I would love to know more about it. I thought she was a different person when I met her again, you know. The results of a full examination have confirmed that they are all who they say they are. Oh, and Minamo was the only one who had her bioenhancement recalibrated. That bitch. Akiha suddenly twisted her expression to express her displeasure. Her expression was so angry that even Enten pulled back. "Calm down." "Excuse me, but when you say recalibrated, are you talking about over there?" "Don't worry. They say it's detuned and amazingly stable. In fact, they report that the tuning was so perfect that it's actually improved her performance to an amazing degree." "I see. Good. But that guy, can't you do something about that man? It doesn't matter if he is Sutton-sama's elder brother and the chief researcher of the science agency, he still can't do anything about his own niece and nephew by making them abominable experimental subjects like that." Akiha's anger at the man was so intense that if she let her guard down a little, she would immediately become enraged. "So, Minamo's test results are top secret, I presume?" "Of course. But even if they are top secret, he is a vindictive man. I don't know how much more they can hide from us now that they know Minamo is coming back here. He can use the latest equipment that has been developed for his personal use, and he can do whatever he wants with the children of aristocrats of poor quality as his bodyguards. I wonder if he could get his hands on the princess over there." Because he is a man with high pride, of course, the ship that cut through the heavenly knights of the Guardian over there, the Guardian of the Dual Ethics, Sacred Mechalord, Yamatsu Wolf, everything is all like he's made a duel of his technique. All in all, it's like he's falsified your technology for you. There's a good chance he's going to try something. But with his dueling ethics the way they are, even Suan won't be able to push him as hard as she usually does. If they can't go head-to-head, they're going to use some insidious methods. That princess, I hope she can successfully evade them. As long as she's in Reception, I don't see the problem. It was hard to make a scene in Reception in the first place. Add to that Washu's vicious traps, and it had become an ironclad fortress. Then again, it's Minamo I'm worried about. Shirin isn't the only one who's been trained over there. Minamo and Shirahana have also been trained a lot. They're not the quiet girls they used to be. I hope so. You forgot the other one. The Witch Queen, Shinji. Surely, she's not crazy like that other guy. But now that the four of them have gone over there, it's as if they've declared a coalition. That's what this means. If Queen Shinji files a lawsuit against the council, we can use it as a good excuse to get rid of her. Even so, I'm still concerned because we're dealing with that particular woman. We are both in a lot of trouble, aren't we? Yamada Sana-sama is still a man, so it's fine. Well, that's true. But Shirin and the others, who showed tremendous power. Over here, we're assigned to assist Yamada Sana over there, so there are a lot of things to worry about. And the princess from the other side who was so fierce in the duel, right? Yes, I know. She said that even the four of them could not beat that princess. She's quite a monster. Well, it's obvious from that series of duels that. And Yamada Sana has taken her as an assistant. Well, that was the sigh. But the hero who destroyed the great pirate guild over there in just a few years. I can't believe it! A high probability of pirate encounters due to unusual probability bias, and ultra-high performance ships and personnel capable of destroying the original 5 Sacred Machines class Heavenly Knights, with the massive backup of the Galactic Federation, but still. It is only with Yamada Sana's ability that we have the extravagant lineup we have. No wonder they're being hailed as heroes. Can such a bias of probability really be that powerful? But who brought in the godly knight of the pirates? After the duel, both it and ZINV are missing. The leading nobles and corporations of Renza are going crazy. It's a mad scramble, you know? The bait is certainly big, but it's still not normal. The policymakers are panicking because of the abnormality of the situation. I see. If it's that kind of person, it's only natural that he would attract that princess and Karen and the others. Akiha seemed to understand what was going on, and she happily agreed. So that he can't escape? That's a pity. As a man, I feel sorry for him. In a sense, Sana and Enten were both pillars of the state, and Enten felt deep sympathy for Sana, who was also a prisoner, but of course he did not have the temerity to say so in front of Akiha. As for Yamada Sana, we can't move from here, you know. When Karen-chan left for the other side, the mothers of those girls formed a group, so we've been in close contact with them. However, Karen's mother, Haya, may have a conflict with Ichika, so I will be taking her place. But if that man is going to get involved, we will need to gather a few more people. Hey, don't be too flashy, okay? I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm just trying to protect my grandchildren, okay? If you don't want any trouble, please get rid of them as soon as possible. Enten's wives had supported him since he was the crown prince, when he was an errand boy who couldn't even form a party yet. After the formation of the party, they were very active and were a major driving force behind their election as party leaders. After they became party leaders, their political influence weakened as ministers tried to reduce their power, and they were replaced by a policy organization formed after they became party leaders. However, this was only because they voluntarily withdrew from the public stage, and their influence has remained quite strong in areas that men do not expect. Oh, I'll have to talk to those guys about this as soon as possible. Oh shit. Enten, feeling a little hungry, reached for the basket and found it completely empty. For a moment, he doubted Akiha, but as he thought about it, he realized that he had simply eaten it himself. I thought Yamada Sana was supposed to attract pirates? Yeah, but it's the same in the sense that it wastes a man's earnings. With a delighted Akiha at his side, Enten regretted that he had consumed the contents of the basket before he had had a chance to taste his granddaughter's well-cooked meal.